Rita, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Good afternoon. This is addressed to Archbishop Alfred Hughes, and I am appealing to you, Archbishop Hughes, to please rescind the decision that closed our St. Augustine Church Parish, and to return it to us, the parishioners, and our pastor, Father Jerome Ledoux. Whatever material deficits this parish had before Hurricane Katrina that may have prompted the unfortunate decision to close it no longer exist. On the spiritual side, it has no peer. God works in mysterious ways. Had the decision not been made to close this parish, we might never have seen so many new faces. The readings for that particular Sunday were so relevant to the decisions made over the heads of St. Augustine's parishioners. That Mass was not a requiem, but a resurrection of the spirit that won't be bowed or broken. In these difficult times, people need such communities of faith more than ever. But difficult times call for difficult decisions, and even the church succumbs to market values. The market says more is better than less, rich better than poor. And as Katrina exposed again, white is more valued than black. Market values applied to St. Augustine becomes small parish. Little money, black pastor, must be given to larger church with more money and a white pastor. I am sure the decision didn't go like I have stated it, but that is the perception in the community, and it has historical roots. Race and poverty are implicit in every economic, political, social, cultural, and religious decision, and yet is never the reason for the decision. And yet it always is whether it is or not. Racism is so convoluted that the previous sentence actually makes sense. Race and poverty are never the issues. The issues are the immutable laws of arithmetic, of balancing income and expense, of stewardship of limited resources for the common good. This seems reasonable, but it's really not. You know, the moral calculus of church teachings trump the arithmetic morality of quantity as the measure of spiritual quality. You know and you teach people are more important than things. You know more than any of us that we are obligated to evaluate social and economic activity from the viewpoint of the poor and the powerless, and that those who are marginalized and whose rights are denied have privileged claims if society is to be provided justice for all. And this is a quote taken from the National Conference of Catholic Bishops, Economic Justice for All, back in 1986, Washington, D.C. It doesn't have to be this way. You can change the script, Archbishop. You can give this story a different ending. You are, after all, the Archbishop. Those who make recommendations to you were driven by economic urgency, but you can give voice to a higher moral urgency. To the degree that St. Augustine Parish was poor, predominantly African American, it deserves not to be taken over but supported to overcome its poverty and to maintain its cultural integrity. But now, the only support it really needs is to be allowed to exist. We have overcome our financial woes on our own. To the degree it was a small, healthy spiritual community, it ought not to have been penalized for its size. But that also is no longer an issue. Now, we are growing and vibrant as a community of faith. If the enslaved Africans who worshiped here over 100 years ago could dream of being free and worshiping with whites as equals, and even in their wildest dreams imagine a black pastor, then I can dream that you will solve this problem. I can dream that on Palm Sunday, Father Ledoux will once again ride a donkey down the streets of Treme while parishioners lay palms before him. I can imagine him coming to his church with you there, Archbishop, to welcome him home and to co-celebrate the Mass. I can imagine an Easter that is a resurrection of the spirit of St. Augustine Church Parish and its community like no Easter before it. All this is possible in your hands, Archbishop Hughes. Thank you for listening. My name is Doretha, D-O-R-E-T-H-A. Last name Augustus, A-U-G-U-S-T-U-S. I'm a member of St. Augustine Church.
Just want to be here in support of the parishioners in their struggle to keep open their church, and to recognize that the young people inside are not outside agitators, but people who were welcomed here by the church and who are holding the space for Father Ledoux and for the parish to be able to come back and to give the opportunity of more time for reflection by the Archbishop and others to reconsider this, and I just wanted to be here to show my support for that.
And you are?
My name's Ted Quant, Q-U-A-N-T.
My name is James Dunson, and I'd like to read a statement based on what happened on Sunday, our response to that.
Speak up, baby.
We do not apologize for speaking the truth and standing up against injustice. We do apologize that it happened within a holy space and was interpreted by some as disrespectful. This was never our intent. We did not wish to disrespect or offend anyone. Our only desire is to be a voice for the voiceless, peacefully challenge all who claim to be religious, to be so in deed and not only in word, and follow the example of Jesus.
All right.
My name is Brianna Elliott, and I first came to New Orleans in January over winter break to participate in hurricane relief work. I returned home to withdraw from UC Berkeley because I could not ignore New Orleans reality. Last week I drove here from California alone to be active in the New Orleans struggle for social justice, which for me represents a small part of a larger global struggle for human equality. I bow down to the leadership who continue to fight for the truth of justice and against the evils of human neglection.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
You ready? So, what is your reaction to the Archbishop's decision to close the church and to ask those occupying the place to leave immediately?
Well, my reaction is that once again we're being run over roughshod. As with this whole process, we've been lied to. There have been several untruths in the newspapers, the different newscasts. So I feel once again that we have been just like steamrolled. A lot of our letters that were sent, in fact most of them, were unanswered. We were ignored throughout the whole process. We were told there was an appeals process, and then that Monday before they told us that we would not be allowed the extension as Our Lady of the Council on Napoleon was. We found out through the newspaper that we would be denied. Then midday that Monday, the Archbishop decided to honor our pastor with a call after the news had been in the paper for half a day. So I feel like we are still being steamrollered for whatever reason, ignored as human beings, and it's just not right.
So what do you do now? What do you do now? You just continue?
I have no comment on that at this point. We are going to stick together as a group. We are waiting on a reply from the Vatican that we've contacted. So as a group, we will stick together.
You mentioned that the financial problem no longer exists. Can you tell us what you meant?
What I meant that since Katrina, and our pastor has spoke to this before his unfortunate dismissal, what I meant was that we are finally, as a church parish, beginning to turn the table financially. People whose churches were uninhabitable have started coming. Lots of support has come in, financial support for our parish. So we have started to turn the corner as far as finances, which was the first reason the Archdiocese gave for our closure.
What were some of the financial problems you had?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that at this point.
I think one of the greater questions, our city is in great distress. None of the media, no media is asking the question, where are the black children of New Orleans? This question is not being asked. There's no black children in this city and no one cares. We are making a Christian witness. We are in keeping with the message of the cross. We did not come into this facility with guns. How can you honor the Sermon on the Mount? How can you be a churchman and enter this facility with armed police? We are standing in the spirit of Martin Luther King and that image on the cross. This place is a sanctuary to the needed. I was in here during the entire hurricane, sleeping in the Trimmy Center, and I could send people here out of the waters. But the priest from Peter Clavers did not come. The Archbishop did not come. They did not come to rescue us. But even more than that, there's no word from them in terms of the pains of our children. There's a great sin here. There is a violation of the Christian mission on part of the Archbishop. Who is this man? I dare him to call the children that visit to service our town the outsiders.
Hear, hear.
This is not physical geography.
Right.
This is not physical geography. This is a spiritual collective. When I went to Mississippi and they beat us in Macomb and they jailed us in Parchment and they dogged us, but in Alabama they said we were outsiders. When we were freedom riders and sitting across the country with John Lewis and others, they said we was outsiders. Now something else is going to happen here. They may leave, but I'm going to go in there. And I'm going to ask those people who have goodwill throughout America, who march with us in all these different towns, let's come back here. Let's make New Orleans the Mississippi summer.
Hey, there you go.
We are not helpless.
There you go.
We are not helpless. We are not helpless. There is something greater than this Archbishop. Let's look at that record in Boston.
Yes.
Let's ask about those people who was injuring children. Let's find out what his role was.
Hey.
He is not going to take this church without a fight.
Yes, indeed.
You know, if we could stand against Klansmen, this is nothing for me to sit in here and go to jail. It would be an honor at my age for my grandchildren to know that still I will not bow down. I done sat with Robert Kennedy, I done sat with all of them. But here, they are foul. They are foul when they say this is outsiders. It's not outsiders. Where did he come from?
Yes.
He's outside of the universal Christian movement. He has not stand up once and spoke about all the people that was in that water in front of the Superdome. And we see every child being the Christ child. Ask him where his message is in terms of institutional racism. Where is his life witness in terms of institutional racism? This is not to be taken lightly.
Right.
This church do not belong to the diocese. You know, this church do not belong to the diocese. They can claim the physical plant, but they will not walk in the St. Louis Cathedral with guns to speak to the people. They will not do that. So the message to them is, you can't lock the spirit out. And if they keep putting the pressure here, what is his address? You think that we are fearful to marching down there? No. No. And the congregation is not the number of people in the seats. It's about the love in the heart. You know, there's no love here for the pastor of St. Peter Clavers. There's no love here. We love Father Ledoux. So, if the pastor at St. Peter Clavers know that the power of love don't want him here, why should he force himself here? So there's something wrong there. It's not going to be accepted. This is just the beginning. The question is, but to them, when are they going to be humble to the teachings of that mission that they're supposed to represent? The Archbishop is not more Christian than I am. His blood is not in the mud in no city and standing up in righteousness. He's no more Christian than the 4 little girls who died in Birmingham. He's no more Christian than Family Lou Hamer. He's never been in the jails nowhere in terms of the Christian mission. I have. Ask him what words and where the words in his teachings. That's a reality in his life. When I was in jail in Mississippi, I read to condition myself to confront the madness. I read the Sermon on the Mount, not as words, but as a life essential in terms of dealing what is wrong and trying to move towards redemption. I would like to sit with him now and discuss the theology of this in my humble way. Bring him on. Let's sit at the table. Let's debate the issue. Let's bring him on. See if he'll do that. I guarantee you what he won't.
Just one question for you. Our producers will be truly humbled if they don't have your name.
Jerome Smith.
Jerome, right?
We should not be moved.
We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like the tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
Save our parish.
Save our parish. We shall not be moved. Save our parish. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
Save our parish.
Save